Good Friday morning. Happening now here at 5 a.m. Austin fire crews finishing up their work at a fire in North Austin at an apartment complex there. Good morning to you. I'm Brian Mays.
And I'm Yvonne Nava. Dozens of people evacuated their apartments this morning when the flames broke out. KVUE's Michael Perchik is live near Metric and Gracie Farms with more. What do you know?
Good morning, guys. Right here, we are at Lincoln Oaks apartment. 30 people displaced. If you take a look behind me, still a very active scene. There's people still milling around, walking around. 30 people, like we said, displaced. Most of them are in the clubhouse area. Now, luckily, no injuries to report. We've seen a couple of fire and EMS trucks leave the complex already, which is a good sign. Now, we caught up with AFD's Palmer Buck earlier. He described the scene when firefighters arrived.
Crews arrived and found fire venting out with a third-story door. Made an aggressive interior attack and were able to knock the fire down in about 5 minutes.
The fire broke out in the middle of Building 4. Now, that is the first building you see once you enter the complex. Most of the residents in the clubhouse area, like we mentioned. Now, the reason we see such a strong presence is to make sure that fire did not spread to other buildings within the complex. Now, right now, firefighters are actually on the roof of Building 4 continuing to inspect the scene. They say they hope to get people back into their apartments as quickly as possible, but as of now, no known cause of the fire and no timeline of when that will be possible. Brian and Yvonne, back to you.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Michael. Thanks for the update there. We will continue to follow that story. If any developments happen, we'll bring them to you right here on Daybreak, of course.
All right, now let's get to our Daybreak top 3 this morning. Short-term rentals were once again center stage in last night's city council meeting. What passed and what city leaders still need to decide on in this highly debated issue.
Presidential politics continue this Daybreak following Wednesday night's GOP debate. The new controversies plaguing candidates as they head back out on the campaign trail.
The 2 football players caught on camera attacking a game official will be making their TV debut this morning. Their exclusive interview coming up on Good Morning America as the investigation into their conduct continues. We'll have everything you need to know about all of those stories ahead on Daybreak. If you want to plan out your day, you want to know what should I wear weather-wise, well, Albert Ramon has that covered.
Shorts and short sleeves. It's going to be one of those days once again. Starting off with some low cloud cover right now, Yvonne and Brian. We even have a little bit of patchy fog being reported, mainly to the south and especially to the east of the interstate around the Giddings, LaGrange area, back off towards Smithville here in eastern Bastrop County to Rosanke in southern areas of Bastrop County, and even a few patches in and around Caldwell County this morning. Yesterday morning, this area was under a dense fog advisory. We'll see if the Weather Service decides to issue another one here later this morning. 75 degrees in Austin, 74 in Bastrop and also in Burnett. Mid-70s over much of the hill country this morning, as it will be a warm day. It looks like we'll get rid of the fog and cloud cover just after mid-morning. So by the early afternoon, mostly sunny and 89 at noon, 95 degrees, a lot of sunshine and a breeze out of the southeast at 5 o'clock. More sun and warming up this afternoon, and that will lead right into the weekend. We'll talk about your weekend forecast, including kickoff forecast for the Longhorns tomorrow evening. That's next. Time now for an early check on traffic with Shelley Bonner. Good morning, Shelley.
Good morning to you, Albert, and hey, happy Friday as well. And we are looking really nice on our roadways right now. No accidents to speak of for the time being. Checking on 35 south from Breaker to Airport, pretty quiet. Just an easy 6 minutes on that ride. Northbound Mopac from Slaughter, you can give yourself about 11 to 12 minutes to get from Slaughter to about 45th Street. Not a whole lot going on there. And then 183 inbound from Cedar Park, still all green as you can see here. Not going to run into any slowdowns on the way to Mopac or I-35. Volumes are very light. I'm Shelley Bonner, Daybreak Traffic.
Shelley, thank you. Short-term rental properties will likely continue to cause headaches for some neighbors in some of Austin's most sought-after neighborhoods.
City Council is tackling the issue, but last night fell short of imposing any real changes to the city code. Daybreak's Tina Shively is in the newsroom with what it approved and what it still has left to do. Tina, good morning.
Good morning, Brian and Yvonne. Yeah, most of the complaints about these rental properties is that they essentially work like hotels without all the regulations. Neighbors say groups of friends cram themselves into houses for the weekend, that they're loud late into the night, and that they make a mess with trash on residential streets. Into the evening last night, Council went through 12 proposed amendments line by line, tackling issues like occupancy and inspections. It improves some inspections during the application or license renewal process of those STRs. Members also approved amendments to prohibit clustering of Type 2 short-term rentals and the use of STRs for large gatherings like weddings, bachelor parties, and corporate events. The council also imposed a ban on Type 2 or commercial use licenses for 1 year. Now, some Type 2 owners who claim to follow the law say it's disappointing to see council lump all of the owners together just because of a few bad apples.
The issue is the behaviors in those properties and the fact that our city code department cannot figure out a way to shut down the party houses and the problem houses. So my Type 2 short-term rentals are bothered by long-term rental neighbors that have parties, not the other way around.
Mayor Pro Tem Kathy Tovo says the city should have never allowed commercial properties to operate in single-family home zones the way they do now. You're looking at some video here of the city's code enforcement department investigating some of those STRs back in July. Now, in addition to the neighbors' complaints, Tovo says the STRs also cause another problem. They allow valuable housing stock to be essentially used like hotels, and that drives up demand and therefore rent payments across the city. A council plans to bring up the issue again next Thursday. There are several proposed amendments that have not yet been voted on. This entire process, we're told, could take up to a year to sort out. In the newsroom, Tina Shively, KV News Daybreak.
Tina, thanks so much. 5:06 is your time this morning. The man accused of running over a Hutto police sergeant and killing him is now indicted for murder. Colby Williamson remains in the Williamson County Jail this morning. Police say he killed Sergeant Chris Kelly after a chase on June 24th. Investigators say Williamson took off during a traffic stop and after a struggle got behind the wheel of Kelly's patrol car and ran him over. Williamson's criminal history includes arrests on drug charges and DWI. All the two suspended football players from San Antonio's John Jay High School will make their television debut later this morning. The two players are going to be on Good Morning America live at 7:30 this morning. They were caught, you remember, on video hitting a football official during the game earlier this month. The students claim that the game official used racial slurs during the game. Marble Falls police are still investigating the incident and charges are still possible for the two players.
In the race for the White House this morning, two of the most talked about candidates following the second Republican primary debate are facing criticism. Carly Fiorina accused of getting the facts wrong in her appeal to fund Planned Parenthood, and Donald Trump is accused of tolerating a racist comment. ABC's Bazi Kanani's in Washington with the latest.
Donald Trump facing a new controversy about rhetoric on the campaign trail, but this time it's about what he did not say.
Problem in this country, it's called Muslims. We know our current president is one. Right. You know he's not even an American.
We need this
birth
question.
certificate, man. But anyway.
Trump criticized for not denouncing the man at his New Hampshire town hall who called Muslims a problem in the U.S. and falsely called President Obama a Muslim and non-citizen. The Republican frontrunner claims he was the winner of the second GOP primary debate, watched by nearly 23 million people. But most analysts believe the blue ribbon goes to Carly Fiorina. The former tech exec is also facing questions this morning about a key moment in the debate when she made an emotional appeal against abortion by describing graphic scenes in videos allegedly recorded at Planned Parenthood.
Analysts who've watched all 12-plus hours say the scene you described, that harrowing scene you described, actually isn't in those tapes. Did you misspeak?
No, I didn't misspeak, and I don't know who you're speaking about in terms of watching the tapes, but I have seen those images.
Planned Parenthood calls Fiorina's claims a flat-out lie, saying, "We think she's referring to a video where a woman who never worked for Planned Parenthood makes totally unsubstantiated claims about what she saw at health centers." Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton has responded by defending Planned Parenthood for providing health care to millions of women in need. Bazi Kanani, ABC News, Washington.
And those weren't the only statements raising questions this morning about their accuracy. As the dust settles and the candidates head back onto the campaign trail, we noticed that not all of them got their facts right during the second GOP debate. So here's a quick fact check of some of the biggest moments Wednesday night. Let's start with Donald Trump.
Autism has become an epidemic. I am totally in favor of vaccines.
but I want smaller doses over a longer period of time.
The 11 leading.
Now, there's no evidence that recommends vaccines cause autism. Both Trump and Senator Rand Paul suggested it would be safer to spread out vaccines, but there's no evidence of that either. In fact, according to the New York Times, a recent national survey found a third of primary doctors allow parents to delay vaccinations or space them out. That could leave children vulnerable to potentially fatal infections like measles and whooping cough. Many activists are now angry about what Donald Trump said, saying it causes fear, not based on facts.
Illegal immigration is costing us more than $200 billion a year, just maintaining what we have.
Our media partners at USA Today checked out this fact and can't find any information to support that number. In fact, it would cost taxpayers $137 billion or more to deport the 11 million immigrants in the country illegally, like Donald Trump has pledged to do.
Despite those difficult times, we doubled the size of the company, we quadrupled its top-line growth rate, we quadrupled its cash flow. We must stand with our allies.
And along with her account of the Planned Parenthood story, Carly Fiorina is also taking heat over her repeated boast about her successful time at Hewlett-Packard. But she failed to mention the company doubled in size because of a merger with Compaq. Just interesting to kind of dig a little deeper sometimes.
I think we should do that with every single debate, don't you think?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
A Central Texas school district trying to close the digital divide in classrooms.
One group's mission to help schools get more technology into the hands of students.
And one boy learned the hard way not to miss curfew. His mom's Facebook video now going viral after he didn't call home. Always call your mom, kids.
Yeah, you're right. 5:11 is your time, and you're looking right now. This is breaking news story, a live scene, an active apartment fire in North Austin. We're going to continue to bring you the very latest details in the next half hour. If you're wondering the exact location of this fire, this is near Metric and Gracie Farms. Michael Perchik is on the scene. He's going to update that. Dozens of people have been displaced. They have been evacuated from their homes. We're going to have an update on that as well. Not a good way to start the weekend.